grownfolksmusic.com.
Latice Crawford, welcome to grownfolksmusic.com.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome back to grownfolksmusic.com, I should say, because it's your second time with us.
Yeah.
So we have a new EP out. And I heard you tell another interviewer, well, let me back up. Around here, we have a little saying called bridging the gap, and where we think that music bridges gaps, genre gaps, generation gaps, things of that nature. I heard you tell an interviewer that the cure is a bridge between believers and non-believers. Can you expand on that or explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, I think it goes beyond the music. I think it's more about the message. We all go through something, whether we're a believer or non-believer. And I think sometimes the confusion is that the non-believers think that we just live these perfect lives and we don't have trials and tribulations, that we're not tempted, that we don't, have moments that we fall short. And I wanted for this project to kind of be like a Google search, where you'd say, okay, wait a minute, I'm going through this. Let me go see who else is going through that. And when you get there, you see other people have your symptoms. Other people are trying pills, but ultimately I want them to find my cure, and my cure is God.
Talk about the cure, the song, the video, the lyrics, all three are so powerful, put together. Talk about that, the writing, what you were feeling and thinking behind the writing, and then whose idea it was for the video direction and treatment.
For the writing, it was just me expressing those regular life situations that I have to invite God into. Everything I go through is not, literal, sickness. I know in church where I was talking about, I want a new car, or I want this, or I want a new house. For me, it was just, I wanted God to fix my heart, and whatever that was, help me make better choices, help me to think, better, help me to stop employing my heart to do the job of my brain, and so it was just, me, writing about that and just saying, I've been popping pills far too long, all these little things that I've been trying that don't look like you, and then now, I have to take other things to try to fix the damage that those, pills have taken, you know what I mean? But I want something, like I said, bigger, greater, better. I want you. That's what I want, because you can give me all of these things that I've been seeking on my own and that keep failing. You can give it to me. I don't have to look any further. Everything is in you. The treatment was actually, I believe it was Omega George, the marketing person at the label, and Andre Griffin, the actual videographer. They came up with the concept. I told them what I wanted, as far as this project was very symbolic for me as a woman, and the story of Eve, and how when we're in church, we constantly hear, the story of her at the tree, but we never hear the story of the redemption that came from the tree later on, and that was by Jesus Christ dying on it. And so, growing up, as a woman, I kind of felt like, well, maybe I'm not worthy of forgiveness. Maybe I'm not worthy of anything. So I wanted to resemble that. And that's why in the beginning of the video, you see me in this very bare state. I have clothes on, saints, but I wanted it to appear, that I was in this bare state, this vulnerable, dark, space, and almost to feel like I'm at home in the place that no one else can see me in. And we know we're at home, we're not worried about walking around with a whole bunch of clothes on, and I wanted it to develop kind of into, this is now, some of what we look like in the world. We look all put together. We look all wonderful, but I also wanted it to symbolize the redemption that we are also worthy of as women and as believers.
Speaking of women, am I correct that you are a life coach for women? And I see you speaking on Instagram directly to women, little nuggets of wisdom and encouragement. Talk about your work as a life coach.
Yes, I'm a women's empowerment life coach. I love it. It's not to try to make us, stronger than men. I know anytime you mention the word empowerment and then woman behind it, they think that we're trying to, emasculate a man. And that's really not what it's all about. But it's just to remind us of our purpose, and that, like I said, we were all mixed into God's reasoning for sending his son here to redeem us all. We are not exempt from his forgiveness and from his redemption. And so I just try to, talk to them about about their purpose and help them with new tools to fix old traumas. I walk with them on their journey, and we accomplish some great things. They already have, everything they need in them to be what they want to be. It's just a matter of somebody believing enough in them and then supporting them and helping them to bring it out of themselves.
How did you arrive to the point, or who helped you get to the point where you believe in yourself, or who brought it out of you to help you then say, this is what I want to do to help get other women whole and healed?
I would say initially, just a lot of trauma and being tired of carrying that. I wanted to be whole. I wanted to not feel the way I was feeling. It didn't mean that the problems wouldn't still be there. It didn't mean that the traumas wouldn't still have happened or existed, but I just didn't want to keep living in that space and being that version of myself that allowed me to hurt other people and create traumas in them, because of my own. And so then, I ultimately went to a life coach myself. I started out seeking counseling, and I went to a few of them, and for whatever reason, most of the time, the person who was doing my appointments, they somehow knew who I was. And I say somehow because I live in the mountains. So technically nobody should really know what I do or who I am up here, but they did. And when I would call, to set up my appointment, they'd say, oh, when you come in, can you sign a CD? And it hurt me more because it was like, wow, my platform still means more than, my need for care, and my need for a safe space. And so I kind of decided, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And then a friend of mine told me about life coaching, and I went and loved it. And so I became one myself because I loved what they do and how they do it. But for me, life is a butterfly experience. I can't squash the caterpillar, because I'll never get to the butterfly. So it's like you have to go through this whole process. Life is good, bad, ugly, great, wonderful, amazing, terrible, horrible, fantastic, all in one shot.
When we first spoke last year, it was quite in the thick of the pandemic and everybody was on lockdown. And I think we asked you just how that time had influenced you as an artist. But as we slowly, the pandemic is still a thing, but as we are slowly moving forward, what has been your biggest takeaway as an artist? Did that in any way contribute to this new material, or what has been your biggest takeaway as you move forward now in your artistry?
I would say being still, and just being patient and waiting. As artists, sometimes, we're in a rush to get our projects out because, we're thinking about gigs and we're thinking about all the things we need to take care of. And we're excited, about our own work. And so we're like, come on, put it out. But for whatever reason, this project was the most challenging to really roll out, because of the pandemic, because we were trying to sort out what it needed to be and how we needed to roll it out. While the project was written, a few years, it was a few years in the making. So it didn't just happen because of the pandemic. Like I said, for whatever reason, it just kept being held up. And the people at my label and my team kept saying, I know we got to get it out, but it's, God's timing. And I was, I ain't gonna lie, I was just like, God's timing. Like, no, let's go. We got to get this done. But I didn't realize how much I needed to just, be still. I lost my mom, right? Like 3 days or so before the pandemic hit. Well, her funeral was about 3 days before the pandemic hit. And so, like I said, I didn't realize how much I needed to be still and not have something out that I had to push and promote while I was healing and grieving and going through this new normal within a new normal. Somebody, that significant passing away right after my father passed away, and not being able to reach and touch family members. I was stuck up here, like I said, in the mountains somewhat by myself. It was tough, and like the same way how we would if we had a cold, we kind of tuck ourselves away and get better first. That's what I needed to do emotionally. I had a cold, I was sick, and I needed to be away and tuck myself away for a bit. And the pandemic helped me to do that. And so now it's built up my trust a lot more, just my trust in the process, my trust in being still, my trust in just waiting and timing.
Last time we talked about the fact that you're a foodie and you share your recipes on Instagram. Not your recipes, but what you're cooking and making. So my question is, what are you cooking today?
Wow. Today I have kind of a bit of a heavy press day. So I'm not cooking dinner, but I did cook a pretty heavy lunch. I went to some restaurant. I don't know if it was like Cheesecake Factory or Grand Lux. I don't know what it was, but they had these cheesesteak spring rolls and these they were called buffalo blasts. So they're like these little wonton wrapped buffalo chicken. And I had such a craving for that. So I made that today and some mozzarella sticks and some onion rings. And I just kind of wanted a little bit of everything. So I just made some appetizers and, snacked on that for a little bit to kind of get me through the day. After it's over, I'll probably just have a salad or something.
Do you make everything from scratch, or you just looked it up and said, how is there like a duplicate recipe for those things that I had at the restaurant, or you just kind of go by what you tasted from memory?
Yeah, I have somewhat taste memory. So if I eat something one time, I kind of can taste what's in it and know what's in it, and it stays with me. Like most of my fondest memories, some kind of way include food. So like, oh, remember that time we had went to such and we had ate, so it some kind of way correlates with the two. But yeah, it's from memory. So if I have a taste for something, I'm just like, oh, I want that. And I kind of go in the kitchen and just, recreate it from what I feel like I tasted when I ate it. Usually it comes out pretty close too. I don't know if it's the exact ingredients, but it comes out pretty close too.
This is the part of the conversation where you get to shout it out. And what that means is that you get to tell us all things Latice Crawford, where you're going to be, the new EP, where we can get it, stream it, buy it, any appearances. And the pandemic had us locked down, so there weren't any appearances. But now, bless God, people are getting back into the swing of performing and or appearing places. So let us know all of your social media platforms where we can stream the EP. And if you'll be appearing or touring anytime or anywhere, you can let us know that too. And also if you have a website, you can let us know that.
Yeah. So I'm still, somewhat in pandemic mode. So, things are kind of coming in slowly, and we're trying to figure out what things we still want to do virtually versus what we want to do, and actually go out and get on the road to do. So we're still kind of sorting that out. So I will definitely be keeping you guys posted on where I will be and when I will be there. But for now, continue to follow us on social media. You got to look for Latice Crawford. It's Latice. There's no R's, invisible and silent. It don't exist. Latrice is cool, but she ain't me. I'm Latice. You can also look on the website as well as Latice Crawford online.com. I'm doing a lot of life coaching. So I have some initiatives coming up with the LA Sparks in Los Angeles. I'm still doing one-on-one coaching. I will be putting out a webinar, like a course type of thing very soon. I'm still working on that. So it's a lot, it's a lot in the works, but I'm just trying to let it roll out slowly and, kind of go with the safety measures and everything, because I'm still wearing a mask. So, it'll be a little bit of time. But like I said, I'm rolling out slowly and I will keep you guys posted. But if you follow me, you'll see it there. You can also find the project there as well. It's called The Cure. Hit the link in my bio. But like I said, you gotta follow Latice. I don't know who Latrice is.
Well, Latice Crawford, thank you so much for your time and the best of everything with everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
GrownFolksMusic.com